Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm taking you along with me to explore Prague in the Czech Republic. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Hey there, before I head out to Prague or to Europe, I'm going to do a little bit of setup in my journal because I'm only bringing limited supplies with me. I'm only bringing what you see here plus my Selfie Square printer, which is charging at the moment. I shared most of my setup in terms of packing and everything in my Berlin vlog. So if you missed that, you might want to go back and check that one out. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and set up for Prague. So Prague, I'm getting there on August 4th. So I'm going to set that up starting in here, and then on my weekly and also on my daily. So let's see, I pulled over some alphabet stickers and I had done Berlin in the last one. I think I'm gonna, for whatever reason, I'm feeling these like square shaped ones. So I think I'm gonna use these to write Prague. I'm gonna do it like in the middle of the day here because that's when I will be getting there. And I'm just gonna do my activities and stuff around it once I am there and I'm filling in. But this is going to give me like some decoration and without having to bring the letter stickers with me. Okay, let's see. So there we go for that. And I realize these are like not as flat as some of the stickers I use, but it's a special occasion, right? Okay, so I get to Prague on the 4th. So I'm just gonna take it out of the cover while I'm working on it. I'm going to do my title here using magazine cutouts. And that's what I did for Berlin. And I think I'm gonna do that for all of my cities. So I'm just gonna go through and pick out letters and adhere them down. And we're off. The train ride from Berlin to Prague took a total of about 4 hours from us to get from the train to our hotel once we arrived in Prague. As we traveled via train, it was so much fun to look out the window and see the Czech Republic. I've never been to the Czech Republic before, and it's so beautiful and looks like something out of a fairy tale, but especially once we arrived in Prague. Prague itself is just magical. I really didn't know what to expect heading into Prague, but I'm so happy that we went. First arrived in Prague, we checked into our hotel. We stayed in the Julius, which I would Very much recommend. I don't believe I captured any video footage of it, but it was a very cute hotel and very centrally located. Then we walked around for a bit. We didn't really have a ton of plans that first evening, but we walked over through the Old Town Square, and everything is just so close together in Prague. It's very walkable. You can see here that this square was so crowded when we first got there. It was a Sunday evening, and it was just so busy that we were a little worried that this town would be too busy, but we realized quickly that it isn't if you get out early. We had dinner that first night at a restaurant called Mlynek, which was right on the river, and it's so like fancy, nice food, and it was quite an experience and very, very fun. We also were super lucky because there was a horrible rainstorm right outside when we were in the restaurant, and we missed it entirely. Our first full day in Prague started early. We got up and went out and walked to the Old Town Square, and you can see it is so much nicer early in the morning. This was about 8 a.m., so it's not super early, but something I found was that in Europe, everyone seems to sleep in really late. I don't know if it's an American thing to get up so early, or maybe it's just because everyone here is on vacation, but I really encourage you, if you decide to go here, to get out early because it was so nice beating the crowds. The Old Town Square is just gorgeous. It looks like it's out of a fairy tale. We walked past the astronomical clock, which is that tower there, and then around to the other side, there's something that kind of looks like a castle. It's just beautiful. The clock tower is definitely one of the main sights to see in Prague, and we definitely went by it a few times. But on our first morning, we just walked by because our plan was to walk across the river and up the hill, which was pretty steep, up to Prague Castle. Prague Castle includes St. Vitus Cathedral, which is this gorgeous cathedral, as well as a few other sites. There's the Old Royal Palace, St. George's Basilica, and what's called Golden Lane. We were super thrilled that we went, but I would say that the cathedral was definitely the best part. So try to get there first because beating the crowds again is so important. After Prague Castle, we headed back down the hill and walked across Charles Bridge, which is a very beautiful bridge. You can see here. It's just gorgeous. And everything is just so old but well preserved. And like I said, it just feels like a fairy tale. Of course, you could see the crowd starting to pick up as it got to be later morning at this point. We went for quite a bit of walk in the morning, and we walked all the way to what is called the Dancing House, which is a much more modern building that you'll see shortly in the video. And then we got some lunch, kind of like a brunchy lunch, and then went back to the hotel for a little bit. I apologize, my journaling setup in the hotel is not perfect. Most of the hotel rooms that we stayed in had little desks or tables. This one had just a small round table, and I only have a tiny tripod to bring with me while I travel, so I don't always get the best angle, but I wanted to show you guys that I was journaling, and I spent some time that afternoon journaling about wrapping up our time in Berlin, saying goodbye to Germany, and what we had done so far in Prague. This first day after this afternoon in the hotel, we went for a walk to visit the Traveler's Notebook partner shop that's located in Prague. It is not near the downtown, and it was interesting to see a different piece of Prague or different part of Prague, but definitely too far out of the way, not really worth a visit. We stopped and got some snacks on our way and explored a few shops, but unfortunately I didn't get any video footage during that time. We spent some more time relaxing, and for dinner, we went and got Prague ham sandwiches from Nasse Maso. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I just want to give a shout out to it because it is so amazing. It's this little butcher shop, and I do think I'm going to have some video footage of that later in here because we do go there more than once because it was just so amazing. And I highly recommend if you're in Prague that you need to visit that butcher shop. While working on my spreads, I go back and forth between journaling and embellishing and putting down all of the ephemera and things because my hand does start to get tired from journaling frequently. And I don't think I can write multiple pages of text in one sitting. So I give my hand a break by doing other pieces. I'm not thrilled with how this page came out for our first full day in Prague. This is Monday, August 5th. I added that sticky note there, and then I added some text on top of it to kind of highlight what I felt about the town or the city, but it just didn't really come out the way that I liked. I did add some ephemera there, and I do like how my stickers worked, but I just wasn't a fan of that sticky note. After filling in the details of our first day in Prague, I went back and filled in the evening before. So the 5th there was our first full day, and then the 4th was our travel day. And I like to do the current day first in my journaling. And that way, if I leave any blank spots, they are older dates, I go back and fill them in later. If you continue to just journal from, the last page where you journaled, you'll eventually fall completely behind. So I always do today's journaling post first, or content, and then I work on the older ones. That way, when I do journal on the current day, I am able to get journaling in real time of what I'm feeling and thinking, and then the ones that I have to go back for are going to be a little bit more reflective, but at least some of my pages are current journaling. Our way back from dinner, we stopped by the astronomical clock again, and we just happened to hit it right on the hour to catch the clock go off. Day 2 started with an early morning again to go up in the astronomical clock tower, which is called Old Town Hall, and actually go up there. You can see the views of the entire square and the entire city from up there. Of course, you can see in the distance the modern parts of Prague, and then of course the old town. It's just so beautiful, and you can again see how it's not that crowded if you go early. I think we got the first tickets in the morning, and they're cheaper if you get them in the morning because nobody else gets up in the morning, I guess. You had gorgeous views, and we were the first ones up at the top because you had to pay a little bit extra to get an elevator ticket, but most people didn't do that. So being the first ones of the day, we got up there first. Then we went to go see the book tower. Here you can see what it looks like from the outside. This is just in the public library, and it's completely free. You just have to stand a little bit of a line. But look at this. This is just amazing. Sorry if the video makes you a little dizzy, but it was pretty dizzying. It's just gorgeous. Next, we went to the Frank Kafka statue. It's moving. Like, we didn't expect this to actually be moving, but it was near where we were, so we decided to stop by there. And we went through a few little shops and just explored a little bit and took a little break in the hotel, which I didn't film any, but I did do some journaling before we headed out to lunch. Again, we went to that butcher shop that I talked about, Nase Maso. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but look at this amazing food. We got their tartare this day and the sandwich the day before. So delicious. Here we are at the Clementium, which is this ridiculous library. Look at this. This is definitely worth it. You get to come in and see this. Of course, you can't walk through there and the lights are dim to preserve everything, but look at this amazing library. You can also go to the top and see some views from up there as well, but definitely the library is why you want to visit the Clementium. Look at these views. It's interesting to see a slightly different perspective than from at the top of the clock tower. After prepping my journal and doing my weekly spread, I decided to move on to my daily spreads, and I started by going through my ephemera. And I have the various ephemera that I've collected in this pouch here, and I will show more of that later in this video. But I'm just pulling out some things to decorate my page. I have one of my tickets, and I have that really fun paper that was kind of like the liner from the butcher shop that I keep talking about because it's so good and highly recommend. I am going to start on my day here for the 6th, which is our second full day in Prague. And I'm just trimming this down to add it in here. And I'm going to do a decent amount of journaling and just record our magical experience in Prague. I really had an amazing time in this beautiful, beautiful city. On our third day, we got up early and headed to the train station to move on to our next destination, Vienna. Bye, Prague. Okay, I'm back in New York and I wanted to wrap up this video by sharing a little bit about everything I collected and how I'm going to document Prague. So here's how Prague turned out in my journal. I did most of this while I was in Prague. I don't think I filmed all of it, but you will see, or you have seen earlier in the video how some of it came together. Some of the cities, it was easier to film than others, but this is kind of the finished product. We were in Prague for 2 full days. So here's day 2, here's day 1, and then part of a day here. And then this is goodbye Prague as we left to Vienna. I also collected all of my ephemera in here. This is just one of the zipper pouches from Studio Calico from their older scrapbook kits. And I have kept these over the years, and I brought 5 of them with me, 1 for each city, to collect things while I was there. And some of this will end up in my album that's going to document this vacation. I talked a little bit more about that in my Travel and Document With Me Berlin video. I also use some of it in my journal. So here's like a bag. This is pretty big. This is like a grocery store bag, but I might cut stuff out of it. I might end up not keeping it. Who knows? So stick that in there. Okay, then we went to this butcher shop that was like amazing. And they had like little postcards. So these are from there. This is one of their bags. So I collected as much as I could from there because I'm definitely documenting that. And then they had like really pretty like papers. So here's a couple of them. I cut some off to put in my journal, but I will definitely use at least one of those in my scrapbook. They have different money in Prague or in Czech Republic, so they don't use the euro. So I grabbed a couple of those. Some of them are going to go into, I collect money in like another place. So we'll put one of those in there. I don't think I've done that yet, but I have them in here for now. Here's tickets from the clock tower, which is like the big tourist thing to see there. And then I picked up some flyers from it. Here's some business cards from like an ice cream shop that we went to. Another ticket from that. This is like the pad from the hotel, so it has like the name of the hotel and stuff. I probably will use a couple of those in different places. Candy wrapper. The hotel key card holder. Here's like I think this was a business card. This is the business card from a restaurant we went to, which is so cool. Another ticket. These like e-ticket things are not that great, but I still keep them just for now. At least it even like just gives me an idea of what we did. This was a misprint ticket. So this is pretty funny. When I went to the Prague Castle, as a prepared tourist, I purchased my tickets online. And then I saw everyone who was buying them there had like these really pretty tickets. And I went and asked if I could exchange my online ticket for a pretty ticket. She said no. I said, can you give me one that doesn't have like information so I can't like just for my album? And she did not understand what I wanted and did not care. But then she gave me this misprint one. So I have that. I bought a sticker. And then this was like a coaster from a restaurant. These were from visiting the Travelers Company partner shop. And I talked more about that in my Berlin video and about visiting those shops and what I plan to do with that. This was from a bar. This is like how they track your beer. I don't even know what it means, but it's very cute. Some of the free flyers, and then here's like a free like city map. So that is everything I collected for Prague, and I'm super happy to use this in my album when I get ready to put it together. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thank you. Bye.